How's it going? Mind if I talk to you a moment?
Sure, what's up?
We got a call about activity in the area, just checking in. Are those your kids?
Yeah, the two over there.
All right, do you happen to have ID with you?
I left my wallet in the car.
No
Something
problem,
wrong?
just making sure everything's...
Officer Derek Brandt had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 72 hours, 14 officers would be put on leave. 3 would face federal charges. The entire department would be thrown into a civil rights investigation that made national news. The man Officer Brandt was so eager to arrest? A senior investigator for the Department of Justice. He was sent to this exact county after 18 complaints of racial profiling. And he was investigating this exact department. Marcus Webb had spent 11 years looking into police misconduct for the federal government. He had degrees in criminal justice and law from Howard University in Georgetown. He had testified in over 40 civil rights cases. And the body camera on Officer Brandt's chest? It was recording every single word. Before I continue, let me ask you this. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone in power? Drop your answer in the comments. But Officer Brandt had no idea who he was putting in handcuffs. Marcus Webb was 38 years old. He worked as a senior civil rights investigator for the United States Department of Justice. That means his job was to investigate police departments that treat people unfairly. He had been doing this work for 11 years. He went to Howard University for his first degree. Then he got his law degree from Georgetown, 2 of the best schools in the country. Marcus had led 7 major investigations against police departments. Each one ended with the federal government taking control. He had testified before Congress twice. He was an expert witness in more than 40 trials. Now here is what makes this story even more unbelievable. Marcus was assigned to investigate this county. He had been looking into this department for 6 months. He had a file on his desk with 14 complaints. And guess whose name was on most of them? Officer Derek Brandt. But on this Saturday morning, Marcus was not thinking about work. He was just a dad. He wanted to watch his daughter Aaliyah, who was 7, and his son Marcus Jr., who was 5, play at the park. That simple wish would change everything. Now let me tell you about the officer. Derek Brandt was 34 years old. He had been a cop for 8 years. And in those 8 years he had built quite a record. 14 formal complaints. Every single one involved a black resident. Let me say that again. 14 complaints. All of them about how he treated black people. And somehow, he still had his badge. In 2019 he stopped a black teenager walking to school. He said the teen matched a description. There was no arrest. Just a scared kid and another complaint. In 2021, he pulled over a black nurse. His reason? Her car was too nice. He searched her car without permission. He found nothing. The county paid her $12,000 to make it go away. In 2023, he confronted a black couple having a picnic in this same park. He called for backup. He said there was gang activity. There were no charges, just another complaint that went nowhere. People in the neighborhood had a name for him. They called him the Hound, because he was always sniffing around for trouble that was not there. Internal Affairs had flagged him twice. Both times, they said the complaints were unfounded. The police union protected him. His bosses looked the other way. For 8 years, Officer Brandt got away with it. He had no idea that the DOJ had been building a case against him for 6 months. And he definitely did not know that the man he just stopped was the one holding that case. Type justice in the comments if you think this officer should have been stopped years ago. It was Saturday, September 14th. The time was 10:47 in the morning. The place was Willow Creek Park in Ridgewood County. It was a nice suburb. About 68% of the people who lived there were white. The average family made about $94,000 a year. It was a perfect fall morning. The temperature was 72 degrees. Families were everywhere. Kids were on the swings. Parents sat on benches. You could hear laughter. A dog was barking somewhere. An ice cream truck played music in the distance. Marcus Webb sat on a bench. His phone was in his hand. His eyes were on his kids. Aaliyah was pumping her legs on the swing, going higher and higher. Marcus Jr. was digging in the sandbox with a little shovel. Then at 10:31, someone made a phone call. An anonymous 911 call. The caller said there was a suspicious black male sitting alone at the playground. They said he was watching the kids. A father watching his own children. Someone called the police on him. When the call came over the radio, Officer Brandt volunteered. He said he would handle it. At 10:44 his patrol car pulled up to the curb. He did not talk to any other adults. He walked straight to Marcus. If stories like this matter to you, hit that subscribe button right now. What happened next would be watched 47 million times. And it would end careers. Officer Brandt stood over Marcus. His hand was near his gun. Sir, what are you doing here? Marcus looked up. He stayed calm. Just watching my kids play. Brandt looked at the children, then back at Marcus. Your kids? These kids? Yes. The two on the swings. Brandt paused. His face showed doubt. Huh. Okay. Sure. You got ID on you? Marcus kept his voice steady. I mean, I'm just at a playground. Brandt's tone got harder. I didn't ask what you're doing. I asked for ID. Now. Is there a problem, officer? You're the problem. We got calls about a suspicious person. Marcus did not raise his voice. What's suspicious about a father at a playground? Don't get smart with me. I'm not being smart, I'm just asking a question. Brandt's patience ran out. Stand up, turn around. Am I being detained? You're about to be. Marcus slowly reached for his wallet. That was a mistake. Brandt yelled, hands. He pulled out his taser. Children nearby started to cry. Aaliyah stopped swinging. She ran toward her father. Daddy? Daddy? What's happening? Brandt pointed at her. Step back, kid. A white mother named Sarah Chen walked over. Officer, he's been here the whole time with his kids. An elderly man named Robert Hayes spoke up too. This is wrong. I saw him arrive with those children. A teenager pulled out her phone and started recording. Brandt ignored them all. He grabbed Marcus by the arm. He forced him to his knees. Aaliyah screamed. Marcus Jr. ran over crying. Marcus spoke quietly. My children are watching. Please. Brandt leaned down. Should have thought about that before you made this difficult. He called for backup. 2 more police cars were on the way. Let me know in the comments. How would you feel if this happened to you in front of your kids? But wait. There is more to this story. Marcus lay face down on the ground. Grass pressed against his cheek. His children cried nearby. 3 phones were recording everything. But Marcus stayed calm. Too calm for a regular person in this situation. He spoke clearly. I need you to call your supervisor. Right now. And contact the FBI field office in Richmond. Brandt laughed. FBI? Sure, buddy. And I'm the president. Marcus did not react to the joke. My credentials are in my back left pocket. Department of Justice. Civil Rights Division. Badge number 7742. Brandt stopped laughing. His face changed. He grabbed his radio and called for his supervisor. But he did not check the pocket. Not yet. He was not sure what to believe. 12 long minutes passed. Marcus stayed on the ground. His children stayed close, still crying. The witnesses kept recording. Sarah Chen tried to comfort the kids. Robert Hayes shook his head in disbelief. Then a second patrol car arrived. Sergeant Patricia Vance stepped out. She was Brandt's boss. What's going on here, Derek? Suspicious person call. He's being difficult. He's a father at a playground. He says he's DOJ. Sergeant Vance looked at Marcus on the ground. Did you check his ID? Not yet. She walked over to Marcus. Sir, I'm going to reach into your back pocket. Is that okay? Yes. She pulled out a leather case. Inside was a gold badge. Department of Justice. Civil Rights Division. Next to it was a federal ID card with Marcus Webb's photo. The color drained from her face. She turned to Brandt. Derek. This man is a federal investigator. Brandt's mouth opened. No words came out. That's not possible. He was just sitting there. Sergeant Vance helped Marcus stand up. She brushed the grass off his shirt. Sir, I am so sorry. Marcus looked at her. Then he looked at Brandt. Ma'am, I've been investigating this department for 6 months. I have 14 complaints against this officer on my desk. He paused. This is complaint number 15. Sarah Chen covered her mouth with her hand. Robert Hayes said, Lord have mercy. The teenager kept her phone pointed right at Brandt's face. Brandt tried to explain. I was just responding to a call. I didn't know who he was. Marcus walked over to his children. He knelt down and hugged them both. Aaliyah was shaking. Marcus Jr. held onto his father's leg and would not let go. By noon, the FBI had been told what happened. By 2 in the afternoon, the county sheriff was on the phone with the Attorney General's office. By sundown, Officer Derek Brandt's career was over. Type karma in the comments if you believe he got what he deserved. 10 minutes after Sergeant Vance saw that badge, everything changed. The FBI Civil Rights Unit was called in. The United States Attorney's Office opened an investigation. The DOJ Civil Rights Division activated their emergency response. This was not just about one bad stop anymore. This was a federal case. Investigators took Brandt's body camera. They watched the footage frame by frame. Every word. Every action. Every moment when Brandt could have stopped but chose to keep going. They traced the 911 call. It came from a burner phone, an anonymous call. Someone saw a black man at a park and decided he did not belong there. Then they pulled Brandt's history. 14 complaints. All involving black residents, all dismissed as unfounded. The pattern was clear. Brandt's story did not match reality. He said he got a suspicious person call. True. But he volunteered for it. The dispatcher said there was no urgency. He said Marcus was being uncooperative. The body camera showed the opposite. Marcus was calm, he was polite. He answered every question. He said he felt threatened. Marcus never raised his voice. He never stood up until he was ordered to. He was a father watching his kids. By Sunday evening, Chief Harold Perkins held a press conference. He looked tired. He looked worried. He announced that Brandt was on leave without pay. The 2 backup officers were also suspended. An independent investigation would begin immediately. But the damage was already done. The county commissioner called for a federal review. The state attorney general said his office would watch closely. The NAACP demanded that the federal government take control of the department. Marcus took his children home Saturday afternoon. His wife Keisha, a doctor who saves children's lives every day, met them at the door. She hugged all 3 of them and did not let go. That night she released a statement. My husband took our babies to a park. He came home humiliated in front of them. A community vigil was planned for Monday evening. Hundreds said they would come. If you believe every police department should be held to the same standard, hit subscribe. We need more people paying attention. But the real storm was just beginning. Because someone had already uploaded the video. By 4 in the afternoon on Saturday, the first video hit Twitter. By 6, it had 200,000 views. It was trending locally. By 9, CNN was talking about it. So was MSNBC. So was Fox News. By midnight, the videos had 4.7 million views across all platforms. By Sunday morning, the hashtag Justice for Marcus was trending across the entire country. By Monday, 47 million people had watched what happened. The numbers kept climbing. Twitter showed 12 million views and 340,000 shares. TikTok had 18 million views. Instagram had 9 million. YouTube compilations added 8 million more. People were angry. And they let the world know. One lawyer wrote, a federal investigator. Investigating that department. You cannot make this up. Another person said, his kids were right there. Screaming. And this man's job is literally protecting people from exactly this. Someone else pointed out, Brandt is the 15th complaint on Marcus's desk. The 15th. The Washington Post ran the story. Their headline said, DOJ investigator detained by department he was investigating. The New York Times called it, the bitter irony of Ridgewood County. Local news covered it around the clock. Chief Perkins tried to apologize. People said it was too little and too late. Brandt's lawyer put out a statement. He said people were rushing to judge his client. Nobody was buying it. This story was shared millions of times. Share it if you think others need to see this. 3 days later, Brandt tried to save his career. That only made things worse. The federal government moved fast. The DOJ investigation into Ridgewood County went from slow to urgent. Within 30 days, they started talks about a consent decree. That means the federal government would take control of the police department and force them to change. The FBI opened a civil rights case against Brandt himself. This was personal now. Want to know what charges he faced? Here they are. First, violating someone's civil rights while acting as a police officer. That is a federal crime. Second, false arrest. Third, filing a false police report. But that was just the criminal side. Marcus Webb filed a lawsuit too. He said Brandt violated his Fourth Amendment rights. That is the right to not be arrested without a good reason. He also said Brandt violated his 14th Amendment rights. That is the right to be treated equally under the law. His children, Aaliyah and Marcus Jr., were named in the lawsuit too. They had to watch their father get thrown to the ground. The emotional damage was real. The lawsuit asked for $15 million. Want to know how much the county actually paid? I will tell you. They settled for $4.2 million. It was the largest settlement in county history. Brandt himself had to pay $350,000. He went bankrupt trying to cover it. On the criminal side, Brandt took a deal. He pleaded guilty to a lesser charge. He got 18 months of probation. And here is the important part: he is banned from working as a police officer anywhere. Forever. But Brandt was not the only one who faced consequences. 14 officers were put on leave during the investigation. 3 were fired. Chief Perkins was forced to resign. The federal government signed a consent decree with Ridgewood County. For the next 5 years, federal officials will watch over the department and force them to do better. Brandt moved out of state. He cannot work in law enforcement. He cannot work in security. He cannot even work as a prison guard. Marcus released a statement after the settlement. I didn't want to be the story. I wanted to tell other people's stories. But if this is what it takes to force change, I will carry it. 3 weeks after the incident, Marcus Webb stood at a podium. His wife Keisha stood beside him. Cameras flashed. Reporters waited. He took a deep breath and spoke. My daughter asked me why the police don't like us. She's 7 years old. He paused. My son has nightmares now. He wakes up asking if the mean man is coming back. His voice stayed steady, but you could hear the pain. I've investigated 40 cases like this. I know the law. I know my rights. I had a federal badge in my pocket. And it still happened to me. He looked directly at the cameras. If this can happen to me, what happens to the father who doesn't have credentials? Who doesn't have lawyers? Who doesn't have cameras pointed at the officer? He had a message for black fathers everywhere. You have every right to take your children to the park. Don't let anyone make you feel like a criminal for loving your kids. He had a message for police officers too. Most of you are good people. But the ones who aren't? They're destroying everything you've built. You have to hold them accountable. We can't do it alone. Then he thanked the people who helped. To the witnesses who spoke up. To Sarah. To Robert. To the teenager who kept recording, you gave my children their father back. He ended with 7 words. I was just trying to watch my kids play. This is not just one bad cop. This is a pattern. Studies show black people are 20% more likely to be stopped by police for no good reason. Black fathers are 2.5 times more likely to be questioned when they are with their children in public. Most of the time, these stories never make the news. The father does not have a federal badge. There is no video. There is no lawsuit. Marcus Webb was lucky. He had power. He had proof. He had the whole country watching. But what about everyone else? So, let me ask you. Do we wait until every black father is a federal investigator before we believe them? Do we keep protecting officers with 14 complaints until they mess with the wrong person? Do we accept that a man cannot watch his children play without being treated like a criminal? Because if we do not fix the bias, if we do not break the pattern, if we do not demand accountability, then we are just waiting. Waiting for the next Derek Brandt, the next Marcus Webb, the next child crying while their father is forced to his knees. Comment below if you believe officers with multiple complaints should lose their badges before something like this happens. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We are going to keep exposing these patterns. We are going to keep demanding better. We are going to keep fighting for fathers, for families, and for the right to exist in public without suspicion. This is not just about one cop or one playground. It is about every park bench, every sidewalk, every black father who just wants to watch his kids grow up, and the system we are willing to tolerate. See you in the next one.